March 6th, Saint Colette, Virgin. After a holy childhood, Colette joined a society of devout women called the Beguines. But not finding their state sufficiently austere, she entered the Third Order of St. Francis and lived in a hut near her parish church of Corbie in Picardy. Here she passed 4 years of extraordinary penance, when St. Francis, in a vision, bade her undertake the reform of her order, then much relaxed. Armed with due authority, she established her reforms throughout a large part of Europe, and in spite of the most violent opposition, founded 17 convents of the strict observance. By the same wonderful prudence, she assisted in healing the great schism which then afflicted the Church. The fathers and councils at Constance were in doubt how to deal with the 3 claimants to the tiara, John the 23rd, Benedict the 13th, and Gregory the 7th. At this crisis, Colette, together with St. Vincent Ferrer, wrote to the fathers to depose Benedict the 8th, who alone refused his consent to a new election. This was done, and Martin the 5th was elected to the great good of the Church. Colette equally assisted the Council of Basle by her advice and prayers, and when later God revealed to her the spirit of revolt that was rising, she warned the bishops and legates to retire from the council. St. Colette never ceased to pray for the Church, while the devils in turn never ceased to assault her. They swarmed around her as hideous insects, buzzing and stinging her tender skin. They brought into her cell the decaying corpses of public criminals, and assuming themselves monstrous forms, struck her savage blows. Or they would appear in the most seductive guise and tempt her by many deceits to sin. St. Colette once complained to our Lord that the demons prevented her from praying. "Cease, then," said the devil to her, "your prayers to the great Master of the Church, and we will cease to torment you, and for you to torment us more by your prayers than we do you." Yet the Virgin of Christ triumphed alike over their threats and allurements, and said she would count that day the unhappiest of her life, in which she suffered nothing for her God. She died March 6, 1447, in a transport of intercession for sinners and the Church. Reflection. One of the greatest tests of being a good Catholic is zeal for the Church and devotion to Christ's vicar. Ave Maria,